Hey Tubes, the refrigerator here has been making noise for about a week. Yeah, probably about a week or so now. I think it's a bearing, bad fan bearing or something. If I open it up here, it's even louder. And it's definitely coming from right behind that panel there. So whatever it is, it's probably an easy fix. Probably just have to replace the fan motor. Not a real big deal. So I figured, why don't I get a how-to out of it in case anybody else is having the same issue. So we're going to set you up on the tripod here. We'll start taking this apart and show you how we replace the fan motor. Alright, so first thing we did was unplug the refrigerator. Of course you don't want the thing to be running or have the possibility of turning on while you're trying to work on it. For obvious reasons, you don't want to get your fingers chopped off in the fan. So we unplugged it, that's the first thing, and pretty much a simple tool. The only tool needed, because the first thing we gotta do is get this back panel off. So it's just a 1/4-inch socket. I've got it on a little screwdriver here. Makes it a little easier, the nut driver. So just the 2 bolts here, we'll take them out. I'll probably lose them, so make sure you put them in a better spot than I did. So this panel here just comes off real easily. And here's our fan, which is the culprit. I'm positive of it. Nothing else behind here that could be making that kind of noise. So I'm going to take the fan out. The first thing for that is to undo the screws. It's the same size, same screws and everything. So we undo them. Them out of the way. Now we get them out. To get this thing out, it's a little bit there's a little bit of a trick to it. It's nothing real super involved or difficult. Let me see here. Let me get you up in view. You just have to work with it a little bit. I find it best if you tilt it outwards like that, and then it should come out. You just got to lift a little bit. Not hard. If you can't figure out how to do that, you probably shouldn't be working with things like this anyway. I'm sure you guys can figure that out. Next thing, we'll zoom in a little bit more, is you got to unplug the wires, and this actually fooled me for a minute. You got to take this little clip here and pry it out. Let's see, can you see that? Got to pry the clip out. I'm probably not going to be able to let you guys see this, but I'm holding the clip out, and then it comes out like that. Nothing hard at all. Whoa. So you guys can handle that. So that's it for the motor. We gotta have that out. And all we're going to do is replace it. I'm actually going to work right in the freezer here. It's a pretty good work area, so I figure, might as well. We'll get this out of the way so it's not taking up unnecessary space. Without that out of the way, this is simple to unhook. Here's a ground wire right here. It's attached there, so you have to take the ground wire off. Now I had anticipated that they would be the same size, and they are. That's a good thing. Oh, and you know what else you got to be mindful of? Watch where you grab this thing. You don't want to grab it by the blades too much, because if you bend one of the blades, it'll be out of balance, and then you'll be complaining, and it'll still be making noise and shaking all over the place, and you will not have made any progress from where you started. Because that's important too. Because the new motor, this is the new motor, I think I showed you that. It doesn't come with a new fan blade, so you definitely have to be mindful of that. Anyway, got a little distracted there. Got to take our ground off. Now I'm going to put this screw right back in so I remember where this little bracket and stuff go. And I don't have to put it in all the way, but see, that's a good idea for anything you're working on. I'll always put the screw back in so you don't lose it. Okay. Actually, I think, we're going to leave that out because I think it's going to have to stay out when we take the motor off. We'll leave that out. We'll be able to remember where that goes. Next thing, I want to try and work the blade off here. Trying to keep my hands so they're not in front of everything, but that's kind of tough sometimes. So trying to work this off, just don't try and force it off, but do your best not to grab it by the blades, because you really don't want to bend them. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I'd try and push up from the bottom. There you go. You can see what I'm doing there. Probably zoom in a little bit, but just push up from the bottom. It's coming off, I think. Actually, the whole thing's moving, but you get the idea. I'm going to kind of pull from the top, but again, I have my fingers underneath the fan. There we go. There we go. That came off. Not too difficult. So now this thing comes off. Make sure you watch out for that little grommet there. That comes off, and then there's another grommet on the bottom, which it shouldn't come separated unless the grommet is broken. But either way, there's the old motor. That's one done motor. And here's the news right on there. And the top part slides on. It goes so it's not supposed to be on top like this. It goes on so that you can slide this all the way on. It goes over top, and then these are flush with that. That looks okay. It doesn't appear that it mattered which way the engine faces. It might make a difference when we put it in the top, I'll have to say, but either way, for now, I'm gonna tell you guys that it doesn't matter which way you put the engine. Because if it does matter, then you're not even going to see this, because I'm going to redo it. Okay. Now we can put this thing back on. Now this one, this is going to face towards the top like that. Put the screw in. Oh, we have to put the ground on. I almost did forget that. This is just the ground wire, so that just goes on like that. Put the screw through. Again, sorry if you can't see everything I'm doing, but that's just the way things go. Even if you hired me to come into your house and show you how to do this, you still wouldn't be able to see everything I'm doing. You get a good idea there, though. Let me zoom you in and show you what I'm doing. Just tighten that screw down. That's tight enough. You want it pretty tight. It doesn't have to be so tight you strip it out. So now, it's okay, by the way, if the motor move side to side a little bit. It's supposed to do that. That's what the rubber mounts are for. So don't be alarmed about that. That's no big deal. It's supposed to do that. Now your blades, just press them on. Really nothing special. You should be able to see it go on as I press it on. There you go. Now this plugs in. The only thing you need to remember, and I'm actually going to double check myself. Yep. The only thing you need to remember is green goes to green. Now this is for my refrigerator. For yours it may be totally different. So I would pay somewhat close attention when you're taking it apart, just so you know, but for mine it is green to green. The other wires, the black and the red, they don't match up, but green, you got green here and green here. That's what we want. So now that kind of just gets pushed back into there. You know, it isn't real critical where that goes. Now, what is critical, well, not overly critical, but somewhat critical, is, I think I put this backwards. Okay. So, number one, your motor kind of goes towards the bottom, because that's, I forgot about that. Motor goes towards the bottom, as opposed to the way I had it before with it up top like that. You see that? You don't want that. You want the motor down to the bottom. And then, like I say, you gotta work it in a little bit, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Watch out for your wires. You know, you don't want to crush them in there. And you gotta watch out. Like right now, I'm kind of in the way here. Ouch. Right now your wires are gonna hit the fan. So you gotta tuck them out of the way. Make sure that doesn't happen and won't happen. So if that happens, you're gonna have bigger problems. Okay, got the tape in there. You might be able to see it back in there. I just use duct tape because it's not anything. Don't need. Well, it'll probably be a good idea just for good engineering practice to use electrical tape, but I'm just using duct tape. So we got that. That's good to go now. Now we can get this in here without any problems. Just watching out for our wires back there. That's good. So now we can take our screws, put these back in. Tighten them down. Good to go. Now what I'm going to do is after you get that there, after that's in, the only other thing left to do is reinstall this backing plate. Just so you guys can see, I'm going to leave it off for now. And let me plug this in for you and hopefully it's going to work. Clear. Oh yeah, look at that. That's how it's supposed to function. Feel that air. Nice and cool. Don't do that either. Don't stick your hand in it. And that's it. That's how you put that's how you install a new fan on your refrigerator. That takes a lot of hassle out of it. You don't have to worry about calling an electrician out or anything like that. You don't have to deal with the noise, and you don't have to buy a new refrigerator. Can't beat that, right? So I appreciate you watching. I hope